Hey everyone, this is Giancarlo Veronini coming to you from the show floor of Comic-Con 2009. I'm joined here by Kyle Brink, the creative director of Sega Studios San Francisco, and he's going to tell us a little bit about Iron Man 2. So this is based on the big upcoming film, right?
Well, yes and no. It uses all the characters and the situations from the film, but we tell a completely unique story. So Marvel gave us the freedom to tell a totally new story using their characters and the movie world. So it'll be of a piece with the film, but it'll be a completely new experience.
So can you tell us a little bit about changes that have been made over the original movie-based game?
Well, a lot. Let me start with the controls, because that's an obvious one. When I first came aboard at Sega Studios, I came aboard specifically to do this game, and the first thing I looked at was the controls. What we have in the game now is you get to maintain hover automatically. In the first game, you had to do it with sort of a half trigger pull. We've also made it so the sticks never swap positions, so the controls are consistent through all movement modes. We're doing extensive testing as well. In fact, just last week we did a test with a bunch of playtesters of a set of various control schemes, and we're just testing to see which ones are the most intuitive for the first time just picked up the controller player. It's much better than before. We've done some tuning on the flight model as well, so you have really fine control over it, whereas before you tended to nosedive when you entered flight, but now you control it really smoothly. In the demonstration we're doing here, there's actually an escape sequence when you're going through a tunnel. It's a very narrow space with hazards, and it's really easy to control the character through those spaces. So we've done a lot.
So it sounds like there's already a little bit more variety in this game in terms of like the mission types or objectives. Can you describe sort of some of those as well?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, we have interiors. So we have a dynamic lighting model which lets us do believable interiors as well as destructibility. So that fundamentally changes the play space. In fact, you can change the play space as you play. I mean, as we all know from games like Red Faction and so forth, when you destroy stuff, it's cool and it helps. And so we have a lot of that in this game. We have a lot of interior spaces, which brings you up close and personal, which means a lot more melee. Now, we actually let you select different melee styles. So before you even leave your HQ, you decide what weapons are in the suit and what melee styles you load into the suit. So you can load in, Kung Fu or Brute Force or whatever ones you want to. So you decide before you even go on your mission what you want to have ready to go. We have a huge variety of enemies. We have ground-based enemies, air-based enemies, a variety of tactics and styles. Some will come right at you to grapple with you. Some will keep a distance to shoot at you. Some will hunker down and make you come after them. Some will be in defensive positions that you have to crack into. The whole idea is to have enough diverse pieces of, in terms of enemies and in terms of play spaces, that we can keep the game really interesting throughout instead of being the same thing over and over again.
And obviously you have Matt Fraction working on the game. Can you talk a little bit about the experience of working with him?
Sure. Matt's been great to work with, actually. He's a consummate professional. It's a collaboration because the story and the game have to work hand in glove. And Matt's new to games, but he's an old hand with Iron Man. And so he's been really helpful to us in building a game experience that delivers Iron Man. So the characters talk like the characters you would expect them to. Iron Man sounds like Iron Man. And the back and forth with him has been really awesome. Whenever we needed to make a change due to gameplay, he was really willing to listen and make adjustments. And whenever we were going a direction that really wasn't true to the character, he let us know and we adjusted it right away. So it's been great working with him, really.
So in terms of voice actors, can we expect to have the stars of the film in the game? Are we going to be able to listen to a little bit of Mickey Rourke?
Well, the schedules and so forth of Hollywood actors are something that has to be dealt with. So we're in negotiations with various people. I can't say right now who we have and have not got. I will tell you for sure that there will be characters from the film in the game. That is a certainty.
And which platforms is Iron Man 2 coming out for, and when's the expected release date?
So the expected release date is in April 2010. The film comes out in May of 2010, so we'll be just in advance of that. Another advantage of not being the movie story, we can actually come out earlier. PS3, 360, there's a separate developer doing a different approach for the Wii because the hardware is so fundamentally different, it really demands a different game. And I think we have some handheld versions too, but I'm not privy to those.
And can you talk a little bit about the Wii version, or?
I can talk about what I've seen. Again, it's being done at a different developer, so I haven't personally developed it. It's definitely aimed at the Wii audience. It makes use of the motion control. It's aware of who owns and plays games on the Wii and what's fun about being Iron Man. So I think they've done a really good job in matching the hardware and the audience, but it's fundamentally different than this game.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to GameSpot for more coverage of Comic-Con 2009.